is Live, and I'm Dr. Paul.
And I'm Hope Dyer.
And that is Miss Ashely Johnson, CEO of Just Be You magazine. She is in Houston. She is just one of the staples part of our shows that gives us that other corner of opinion from down south.
Yeah.
Because us northerners, we may not know so much.
What? No, we know a lot.
So, but we're gonna a couple of things. Is that you, Miss Ashely? A couple of things I want to talk about that we've been brought up on a conversation. It's about a few times.
Yeah.
It's about men, and these are all sex conversations. Sex conversations.
Not all sex.
Well,
I guess the root of it is
sex.
Because babies come from sex.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, we're talking about why men, and I want to hear from some of you people out there. You can always text us and comment on us, and we'll answer. But why do men embellish about having sex with women? Mm-hmm. And that's the start of it.
That is the start.
So what?
It's the start of something new.
Look at you. No, I don't know what that's from.
High School Musical. It's literally like in the first 10 seconds of the first High School Musical.
No. No.
Yeah.
No, I know what you meant, Hope, baby. I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
Sure you have.
I don't remember the song. So why do men embellish having sex with women, or why is it that's their only seen principle of conquest?
Right. Or why do they have to have conversation
over it?
In like a what's it called? Like in not in like a kind way. It's more of like in a.
It's derogatory.
It's a negative way.
It's derogatory. It's a derogatory way.
It's like derogatory, like versus as women.
Like an ownery way. Like I owned that.
Yeah, like I was with this girl and that's mine.
Right. They treat it like a point system.
See,
right.
That's scary.
Oh my God! In SBU there was a case. Because there was these high school students to get on their football team. They had you had to have a conquest, and you had to write your name and then who you had slept with under your name. And the more you had, the better it was. You remember
the Rage of Carrie too? Remember that? That happens all the time in high school and colleges, all the sororities and stuff like that. They still do that stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, first let's back up a little bit. I'd like to welcome everybody on Instagram Live and then Facebook Live, and then of course the podcast comes out tomorrow or Wednesday, and you can listen to the podcast on Apple Tunes and iHeartRadio. So Bridges Live, we like to come in here, and what we like to do is to get you from here to there. And a lot of things that we talk about, hopefully it's about communication, conversation, and about understanding, knowledge, and not just a truth, but an action. Because if we're going to talk about men, they're just not doing what the hell they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Okay? I kind of go on this, and I've said this before to you ladies, is that I just think men aren't being taught from elders or responsible adult men to say, hey, little brother, don't do this, man. This is not how you treat our women. Because in all of that, I think it's the progression of where we are in this sick society of men still not treating women with
respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
So if I treated you as a point system, as a high school football player, we'll use what you talked about, Ashely, then if I'm a manager hiring you, am I still looking at you as a point system?
Or is it looking at you as, probably, because, right? And if a man is hiring a woman, he's thinking, I have to make,
Say again, Ashely?
That's correct, because honestly, even with the hiring, if a man hires women, because there have been so many different studies where dark-skinned girl or versus a bright-skinned girl or a white girl versus a Mexican girl. There have been studies where they actually pick from their looks. You know what I'm saying? Because the different, the other, the girls that didn't get picked had like the better skills, the better qualifications, the better education, everything. But yet they did not get hired because they wanted other girls.
Someone told Hope that your curls were unprofessional.
That I should straighten my hair to go to an interview.
Right. Yeah, that happens all the time. And even the black girl that got, that she was so hurt. The school told her that she couldn't go to the school because of her braids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This the black girl going to an all-white school. I think it was a private school that they have paid tuition and stuff to go to. Told this black girl she cannot go to this school because of her braids.
So to me, that's part of the slave mentality that we either kept in or you put yourself in. Because you're like, well, I want this. See, we'll do the job. I want this job. I want to make a good impression.
Right.
I think I'm, I got this.
But I have to do this.
But I have to do this so I get an opportunity. Now, is that my sickness or is that us sickness?
That's us sickness.
It's us sickness.
Societal sickness?
It is a societal sickness, but we fall into the trap by saying, I do have to straighten my hair.
Right.
So you perpetuate it.
I'm a walking victim of that because I used to wear weave. Oh, baby. Yes. Girl used to love her some weave, baby. Yes, she did. But then I was like, I just got, at the end of it, I was like so over it because as you become awake and so stuff gets so much clear, I've noticed, my mane is beautiful. I have beautiful hair. But it's me. You know what I'm saying? And some people, I hear the girls, girl, why don't you get your hair done? I've been seeing you've been rocking in your really hot nowadays, girl, I like you with the wet wave in Australia or whatever. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's like, why do I have to lower and down my light to fit society because society says that this is too. Loud is not.
So going back to the male question, so males keep you into this enslaved mentality of like she's always less than me. So that's why men can talk about them when you call locker room talk. Because you've asked a couple of men.
Yeah.
You've asked a couple of men this question. What was the question?
Why do guys feel like they can say they had sex with someone when in reality they didn't, and people still believe them?
Right.
And 2 of the men out of the 3 were unable to give me an answer because they were like, I don't know because I've never done it before. I was like, whatever. So then I asked you, and that's when we got on the topic.
Because I think, and I just wrote something called 18 inches, and we're talking about going from here to here, right? But I think men skip this whole travel from here to their erogenous zones, and in all actuality, we got a partner coming in. The penis is such a bad action for development, because if you're unable to think with your heart and your mind, and you're only thinking with what you want to penetrate something, then you're always going to be the sickness.
Right. Because at the end of the day, men don't even realize that, honey, we can take care of less about your penis.
See, but do
the
men
personality, right?
Yeah, but do you think men?
Yeah, you can talk into it.
Do you think men know that women don't care less about their penis, their thing?
Most of them, you know what, they do know.
No, I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. Say no.
Those block out all that shit. They think that just because, I'm just gonna put it down. Nah, man, it's more than that, baby. Real men know it's more than that. Because that's bull crap. But the male ego is so chauvinistic and arrogant that just think, oh yeah, if I just hit it in that right spot and now I can get, nah, man. It's more than that, 'cause we can do that ourselves.
Right.
So again, does this go part about why isn't this stuff not being taught to men? And I asked you this earlier, Hope. I said maybe men don't have any elders to talk to. Maybe
they don't.
But I mean, I was thinking about just now how you said they probably don't have any male elders, but you had, maybe they don't have that female elder who is willing to talk about that and teach them in not necessarily a male perspective, but in a perspective that they don't feel like they're being put down on.
Because you're right. I think you were going to say I didn't have that.
Yeah,
I didn't. I had Nana. I had your grandmother, my mom, who was such a. So many things I can say about her, but she was so open in her conversation to teaching her men to be men. She wasn't trying to raise. She wasn't trying to raise weak men, right?
No.
But she did tell us about obviously really her perspective and what she expected.
Right.
Not what she thought you should be doing and you should serve me because you're the oldest and you need to take care. No. She never. That wasn't her makeup. That was her makeup. We do know there's women out there that are like, shit, I got an older son and I'm going to make sure he's my man. Yeah, I'm gonna raise him to be my man.
Because men are breadwinners.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise him so he serves me.
You back?
So, we do know that happens out there. And then when that male tries to have a mate, he doesn't know how to be a man because he's so used to being his mama's man that he doesn't know how to have a mate.
Right.
You want to say hi, Ashely?
Hi, baby. I see him when he walked up.
This is my nephew.
This is my grandson. This is Mr. Isaac. So Isaac actually brought the conversation more to light because we were talking about with our new grandbaby Genesis and Genesis being the new beginning, and we have conversations about why is this place a little bit so off-centered, and I really think I think women have come further than what men can go. Is that my own perception, Ashely?
You're absolutely correct.
He wants you to come on camera.
He can't, and that's what threatens them. That's why. But at the end of the day,
sorry.
You're different. So I could tell that you respect a woman. You can always tell by a man's demeanor, how they talk. What kind of man they are when it comes to women. Rather you're that dominant man and a weak woman and you feel like you got to control her, or rather you can actually be that alpha male to handle another alpha female and love it. You know what I'm saying? You have different personality and realities when it comes to men. So, most men that are raised by women, strong women like me, like your mom, like Nana, they come out to be magnificent men because we teach them to be not only a man, but how to be good for a woman.
So we have a comment and by a man, and I want to read this. I think that most men treat women with respect and understanding. They don't need what?
They don't need your constant advice.
They want to be heard and listen. Now, and then it says that Napoleon Hill studied the successful men and their motivation. So I think what Robert was trying to say is that men aren't being heard. And so they.
I feel like they're being heard. I feel like they're just using the wrong words. If they feel like they're not being heard, then they need to start using different vocabulary because their vocabulary is what's twisting it up and making it, if they're not intentionally trying to be disrespectful, but their words are disrespectful. And remember, we spoke about how people don't think about how their words are when they say it. And if they're not trying to be disrespectful, then you should really consider different word choice, because your words are very disrespectful.
Right. So, and then I would have to say on Robert's take, I think Ashely, we're getting a lot of feedback from you. I think some men. And it's tough to have a conversation because only few men would learn how to express themselves, right?
Yeah. I know we're not talking about all men.
Right, yeah, so it's almost like...
Let's just clarify, we're not talking about all men. We're just talking about the few that are in the corner right here.
See, and that's why I think also we have another person that says I think they need to want to talk about and share this on a deeper emotional level.
But we also spoke about how men aren't taught to talk on an emotional level.
We've talked about that before. That if men aren't talked about how to talk about an emotional level, it would cut down on suicides of men.
Yeah.
It would cut down on abuse, whether it be drug abuse or any abuse, right? Alcohol, or it could be gambling. It could be any type of...
The person, anything, just talk and learn to be sensitive. It's okay to be sensitive, and that's the main problem of society, society and, culture. Mm-hmm. So a lot of cultures, you can't cry, you can't have, you feel you gotta be a man, tough. And it's like, no, honey, you have to talk about your problems, especially when it comes to your mate and your wife. We should be the main ones to know what's bothering you, what's wrong.
Exactly.
Open up and be sensitive enough to talk to me about that and know that I'm not going to judge you. And just know that makes us closer, because when you're popping off for no reason, I know why.
And even if it is bad news, like, why would you not talk about it? Just because my reaction is going to be crying.
Or a reaction. Even if you knew your reaction or a reaction is going to be a reaction, what does that have to do with telling you?
Yeah, you should still tell me, because that's communication. That's a deeper level.
A deeper level, that's trust. That's love.
Exactly.
If I devote my heart and my life to you and say that you're my wife, you're my husband, then I should be able to tell you anything.
Right.
Anything.
So
I don't care how bad, how deep it is. I don't care if I got a sick, twisted sexual experience I want to experience. I should tell you.
There you go. But it's not. So, do we have to have continuous trauma to fight our way through awareness and self-consciousness? So let me ask you this question, Miss Ashely. Would you be the woman you are now if you didn't go through all the bullshit you went through?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so would you say you needed to go through all the trauma for you to be where you are? Well, then we're in trouble, because so many...
You know what? I'm going to say no. You know what? No. I didn't have to go through the trauma, because a lot of stuff could have been avoided with better...
communication?
Better...
Education? Support, or a better way of, man, it's crazy, we just talked about this, of, traditions, being raised, or... What about community? Community, definitely community. So, yeah, I didn't want the trauma, but you know what? I would have been better without the trauma. You know what I'm saying? Because of the trauma, a lot of bullshit that I have damaged because of the trauma. You know what I'm saying? I've done stuff because of the trauma. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with the trauma, so it's got me having different issues that I have to still deal with as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So no, you're right. Let's nip that in the bud and stop it before it even happens. Like we say, my mom,
in my family, we have very, a pouty mouth. I call it pouty mouth. I have it's not just.
You said potty mouth.
I used to think it was me, but it was something wrong with me. But then I'm going back and I'm really sitting down looking like, I was raised. I mean, that's how y'all was talking. That's what it was.
But I think some people have a problem, or not necessarily a problem, but a hard time looking at what they're doing and seeing it as wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You mean judged?
And how I figured that out is because I actually had to look at myself when I was in a relationship with somebody that was not raised on cussing and trauma and what I went through or whatever. So that me just talking to them normal, they thought I was just popping off. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not even, but I get it, So I had to look at myself, say, you know what, you really need to evaluate what's wrong with you. Let's see what happened. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, you do that. Why do you do that? Well, because this. You know what I'm saying? So let's fix it. So, it's you have to look at yourself.
But I really think people have a hard time looking at, okay, I think this way because why? Well, X, Y, and Z. I was thinking that people need to put themselves in other people's shoes, which people having a hard time doing that too.
That's compassion. But that's compassion.
But I think the first step would be looking at themselves.
Yes.
And that is number one.
That is number one.
People don't want to do that because people don't want to do that because that means that they will have to blame themselves.
Exactly.
They have to take that shit. And some people don't even know how to take it, that they will, even though you have to take it, they still will put it off on somebody else.
So, just because everyone knows, just recently, the oldest one, Raven, Long Flight, just had Genesis. And Genesis, in her name, is the beginning, right? But I was talking with Hope before Genesis came, and it had nothing to do with her sex or whatever, but she had to be put through this trauma of birthing, right?
Yeah.
She had to put pressure on the cervix and of the uterus.
Not Genesis, my sister.
Yeah. So, but there's a trauma coming through birth.
Right.
And in that birth, there's this new thing.
Yes.
So why are we not educating ourselves enough so we can push through this rebirth? And that's what I'm talking about. And you said, well, they just need to be told. Well, someone needs to raise their fucking hand and say, I need to learn.
Yeah. But then they would have to want to learn.
And I know that's what Ashely was saying, that it goes back to yourself.
Exactly.
But if we keep talking about, because when we do Bridges Live, when we do Living Live, when we do all of our shows, we ultimately want to put you from here to there.
Right.
We want to ask you not just the question, but we want you to start thinking, because there's an emotional connection. There's an anthology to it. There's a manifestation to it. What you're talking about, like, where is this all coming from? If it's not helping you, then we stay sick.
Yeah. But, okay, so I took early childhood in high school. Some people in college take psychology. I also, everybody actually technically has to take psychology. Which one? This one?
This one.
It says we don't have to invite trauma. It sometimes happens because stuff happens on someone else. It says we can and should learn and grow when it does not let it paralyze and stunt us.
Okay. We don't invite trauma.
No.
Because that's saying life is happening to you.
Yeah.
No, life is happening and we're part of it.
Right.
Okay? It's not, yeah.
And we don't invite it. Life is happening, like you said, you're part of it, so trauma is a part of life. Because you see trauma every day on the news.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
You see trauma when you see police officers having handcuffs on somebody. That's trauma. Like, you see trauma when you have seen a dog or a cat laid out on the street dead. That's trauma.
I'm traumatized by a cop.
Me too, baby.
And what I mean is that, and I have police officer friends, I have cop friends, I have people I've known, and every time those cherries go on, and I'm driving,
oh my God, I always think it's me.
I say, oh no, what? I hope it's not me. Make sure I don't make any. And I'm thinking, shit, I ain't doing anything fucking wrong. I'm not speeding. I'm like.
See, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you see how society have you second guessing yourself?
Yeah.
You know you're not doing nothing wrong, but because the police have such a bad lash on them that you ain't gotta be doing nothing wrong to get killed. You ain't gotta be doing nothing wrong just to get pulled up. Why you being a black man yourself? You don't have to be doing nothing wrong by you just being black and driving.
But my point is that I know why I feel this way.
Trauma.
I know exactly where it came from, where it started is, and I know that I stop it, and even if I am getting pulled over, which, whatever, I don't want to have this hostility to a person who's doing their job.
Right.
Oh, I don't have hostility.
I don't want it to be like, I'm flipping out, so you know what? I'm like this. I'm tense.
Yeah, we were just talking about this yesterday on the radio station. Because at the end of the day, I feel like okay, like Tamar, the green light that we had last week. She's a former law. She was a former law enforcement. She was in that. And it's crazy because, like I told her, I said, I hate that society have a bad name on law enforcement because I know it's a lot of law enforcement that smoke the magic flower, that when they arrest people for it, they be feeling bad because they know they got a blunt waiting on them at home.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Read this one, Hope. We got a comment, so read this one. Read this one.
Sometimes pain, trauma can motivate.
What do you think?
I think, yeah.
So that's absolutely correct. Correct. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, I know it does motivate, but here's where I disagree. I think if pain and trauma motivate you, when that is over, what happens to whatever you did with it? Let me try to make this easier. I want to make $1 million.
Right.
So with my pain and my trauma, I end up capturing the $1 million.
Right.
So, but my pain and trauma is gone now.
Because pain is temporary.
Right.
Where emotional pain is long
But
lasting.
wait a minute. So
I'm gonna say the end of the trauma, and because you went through that, like it motivates you to not stay in it, to motivate you to be a better person to overcome that trauma.
Okay, so now that I overcome it and I made the $1 million, what do I do now? How do I get to?
You invested.
No. What I'm saying, how do I get to the next level if I don't have pain and motivation? Pain and trauma is a motivation.
Well, someone said I was told fear is a motivator and trauma was the Band-Aid to cover up the source of where hurt and abuse begins.
Well, first of all, thank everyone for commenting on the show, and it's awesome. We're getting a lot of great feedbacks, and I know people watching on Instagram, and I know people watching on Facebook Live, on Bridges Live. I want to say thank you for contributing to the show, because our show is about education, about moving forward. Mm-hmm. So thank you for the comments. So in my thinking, in my mind, so what was the thing again?
It said, I was told fear is a motivator, and trauma was the Band-Aid to cover up the source of where hurt abuse begins.
I kind of go back to, I don't
This is the second time today that he had to fully stop everything to get the words. Wait, but technically that's what people should be doing.
Right.
Thinking about what they say first before saying it. Yep.
Yeah. So
just, pointing it out.
If fear, and I write it down because I'm a writer. If fear, trauma, and pain
right.
are the action of fuel, okay? Mm-hmm. if you're going to use those fuels, those actions, then what you're doing is that you're constantly living in what you call 70 to 80% of your past.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's difficult for you to move forward if you're dragging this forward.
This luggage.
Yeah, and so because fear is only, it doesn't matter if you're afraid, you're remembering, because a memory is 70% of your past. And when we talked about this before, that condition states that if you do not move forward in your cognition of thinking, then you're staying in a reproductive past. You're staying in a trauma state mind.
And
where
that's
you just
where
keep
you're stuck. Remember we were saying how we can notice kids progressing.
Yes.
But we
yes.
never really notice adults progressing.
Right.
That stops progression.
Yes. Your past, your state keeps you stuck into that action. So
can the trauma and pain motivate, become healed?
No, because that's like trying to stop the rain from yesterday. It rained yesterday, right? It washed out your picnic. Okay, so you have no more picnic because of the rain.
Right.
So what you're saying is, let me make a new picnic and it'll make up for what has happened. No, it's just a completely new picnic.
Yeah,
right.
It's a new picnic. That's it.
It's just a new picnic.
It's like reading a chapter book, not a chapter. It's like reading a series and thinking that whatever happened in the last book is going to continue to happen in this book.
Right.
But you still know it. I get it. But you still know what happened on the series because you've already seen it.
Right.
But as you're moving forward, let's move. That's why you have to keep in mind that it's called a new season. So
that's true.
Let's not keep thinking about what happened, but at the same time,
keep it in mind.
Band-Aid come in. That's when the Band-Aid come in because I know what happened. Yeah, it's there. The wound is there. I know what happened in the last season. But I'm going to this new season. I don't want to think about that, but I still know. So, Dr. Paul, are you saying what do you like? I mean, so how do we get that? You can't get it out your head because you already seen the season. So your amygdala